Yes. Excuse me. Slight restart of the thing seems to have solved all problems. Pardon me. I had to start had to give it a new name to differentiate it, because it'll be a separate thing otherwise. Huge problem. Sorry about that, but I've returned. Big issue. Bloody... Excuse me. You had to bash the machine with a spanner? That's normal. Alright. Now, what I was auguring before I ran into that little snare, which is completely normal, by the way. A normal snare, was Krakow. Now, never mind this. This is Rastan manual. That's not what I was auguring. It's this. Ding. This. Has anyone here ever read these original mini-comics that came with the first run of the figures? Fascinating stuff. All right, look at it. Artwork is incredible. I want to share these because I was very impressed with these. Artwork by Alfredo Alcala, the well-famed Filipino artist. Who I don't know what else he did, but he did these and they look really wonderful. This was extremely early in Masters of the Universe, before all of the lore had solidified, right? So this is all new. Like, well, it's quite new to me. I only really know there's Beast Man back there. This is what came with the first line of figures. This is the first lore of He-Man, and I was extremely interested in the art, obviously, because there's some really beautiful artwork in these. And there's some... That's not a mysterious ray. That's the laser turret on top of Castle Grayskull back there. And the story's extremely interesting as well, because these are calibrated, like a lot of the best lore is, to set you up for play. It just gives you enough. It's very Buscema-like. It's very reminiscent of a lot of Savage Sword of Conan issues that I've seen and read. You may have done some work in there, actually. I'm not exactly sure. I like how the stories that I'm about to share with you here, these sort of ones, establish like a basis for a setting for play with, like to play. Much in the same fashion, I think, as Warhammer lore used to be. It's not about telling you a complete narrative. It's about setting up the background which you then play on. Right, so you tell your own stories on this background. This is like that, and that's the ideal of Warhammer lore. Before they fell into the stupid meta-fiction trap of being possessed with telling a grand narrative that they control, and none of your stories really happen because the official story is going to come down the pike. So whatever you do with your figures and the adventures you go on with your men, that's not real. Like, that's not the canon. It's more about, like, setting the stage and preparing the landscape for other people, right, players, to come along and play with it. In this case, kids who have these figures and would do well with some basis for who they are and what they are and their motivations, and there's not much more than that. And I think it's great. And this is the original origin of He-Man, before what we know, and it's quite different, so prepare. Here we are, page 1. There's He-Man. This is He-Man leaving his tribe, because He-Man in these early stories is explicitly a barbarian. There's no Prince Adam. He's not really a magical being that gets summoned. He's a barbarian warrior who leaves his tribe. Here in this scene, incredibly illustrated too, is their strongest man, right? Look at this. A mighty figure stood at the edge of the jungle that had, until this day, always been his home. He-Man, the tribe's greatest warrior, waved his farewell. He might have preferred to stay, but he had a noble mission to accomplish. Evil forces exist on our planet Eternia, He-Man told his people. They seek to control the legendary Castle Grayskull, a place of wonders. If we are to know lasting peace, I must go out and battle those forces. Farewell! Yeah, it's just fully Eternian. I haven't seen any hint of of yeah, it's very savage. It's like a world in like a Stone Age. He's from a Stone Age style sort of tribe here. Oh, they had cassette tapes too. Oh my god. Look at this. Immediate adventure happens. Look what's going on here. Incredible. Look at that savage beast. Look at He-Man here on the precipice. The outside world had long been a mystery to He-Man's tribe, although they had heard the fantastic tales about the mysterious Castle Grayskull. He-Man was the first of his people to trudge these craggy cliffs and quake-torn valleys. His homeland was already in the distant mists when he heard the cry for help. Gazing into the valley, He-Man saw that his courage and jungle-bred strength were already needed. Pretty good. Right? Immediate. And you notice they're not even really comics. These are like, these early few, I think the first 4 are storybook style things. And they turn into comics much later with different artists. And I think not as good art. I love these big, large images with a broad focus. It's not sequential storytelling. It's these very rich scenes that get illustrated. Let's see what happens next. Oi, look at this. He-Man immediately leaps into action. Right? 10 out of 10. There's a couple of images in it. Skeletor, for some reason, is particularly well drawn in this. Right? There's like 1 or 2 images that I think are really, really high grade. We'll get to those. In a blur of bronze movement, He-Man leaped from the cliffside onto his shaggy foe. His powerful fingers dug deeply into the monster's hide, but He-Man was not fighting He-Man was not fighting this creature alone. He-Man glimpsed the woman as she gestured magically and attacked the creature with mystical bolts of force. She is a sorceress, he thought, but her magic hardly fazed the animal. The same could not be said of He-Man's might. There he is. Yo, man, I must have had some of these, right? I must have had some of these. I bet my mum read them to me as well. I was a pretty early reader, though, because I would always get read to a lot. I always get read to all the time, and always with the book in front of me so I could follow along. And I read pretty early, I think. And I read of He-Man in the ancient age. I don't remember having a cassette player of cassettes of He-Man stories. I don't think so. I had some cassettes that had stories, but I'm not sure He-Man was one of them, now that I think of it. Yeah, look at that almighty calf muscle. A great scene. There, look at this. Instant alliance formed. Look at that equipment. 10 out of 10. There's vehicles in the background. Holy moly. Defeated, the animal fled, while the sorceress regained her breath. Your strength, your courage, she said, mark you as a legendary hero who is to inherit the treasures I have guarded all these years. They were made centuries before the Great Wars by Eternia's scientists. Inside the ancient ruins, the sorceress gave He-Man the guarded costumes and weapons. They will add to your strength. Use them wisely, especially in defense of Castle Grayskull. There she is, with her awesome cobra sort of costume thing. Now, the axe is very prominent in early He-Man, as we've seen in the art books and everything. He's often carrying this axe, and not so often the power sword. He starts carrying that mainly after the cartoon, I believe. But the power sword does factor into these stories. Yeah, she's got a spectral character here. So, yeah, it's like this was a civilized and fully like scientific world once, but the Great Wars are implied to have plunged it into a barbarous age. And there's like remnants of technology that are the vehicles and things like that aren't fully understood by people. Some of it exists in Castle Grayskull itself. Here's He-Man. Look at this powerful move. He's doing something incredible here. Riding in the strange vehicle, which was a combination battering ram, catapult, and space warp device. He-Man set off again on his mission. A particular valley, still miles away from the castle, struck his fancy. This valley would serve as his new home and headquarters. Wearing the costume that gave him superhuman strength, He-Man went to work carving out his new home using no tools other than the power in his fists. He just carves his home out of the living rock. Just like that. 10 out of 10, in my opinion. Oh, they did a green Teela sorceress figure in Origins, eh? How mysterious. This He-Man is just fully formed right out of the bat. He's got a dagger in his boot and everything, which is a detail that, according to that He-Man art book, I don't know if we pointed this out, he was in the original designs, but was like phased out. Like they went against it ultimately. This is the early Minecraft. Yeah, that's what it is. By this punch, I snooze. Yeah, I like a dagger in boot or belt. Dagger's very essential. Look at this beautiful landscape. Always, it looks very consistent with the sword and sorcery of the period. So He-Man, when it first launched, coupled with this artwork and the artwork on top of the packaging and in the posters and that sort of thing, was like the kind of thing, when you're a young lad, it's what you would see like in Big Brother's gear. Like your big brother would have like Conan stuff, and it'd be just a little beyond you. But this was like sword and sorcery style stuff with lasers and things that you would like, that was aimed at like a younger lad market, right? Who didn't have like the mega album covers and the Conan stuff, and wouldn't quite have been ready for full sword and sorcery yet. It was taking the trappings of sword and sorcery and bits of science fiction, like that letter in the art book highlighted Frazetta-style scenarios with Conan and Star Wars and Flash Gordon as the listed like primary influences for the style of these toys. And this is the stuff that came out alongside them. They're a little bit Vancian. There's a little bit Vancian. It's very Barsoomian as well. I think I made a point how it's full of strange creatures. Like very rarely in He-Man does it seem to me that you come across a normal animal, right, or a recognizable environment really that you would experience in normal life. Maybe a forest, maybe a plain. Like, plains and forests are really rare. Even when they're depicted, they've got weirdo plants. Like, it's very Barsoom like that, where everything is alien. Well, not everything is alien, but it's like it has that element quite strongly, I reckon. Look at this. This is the first appearance of Skeletor. And him and Beastman lurking here. In kind of an air of general mischief, which somewhat matches like Catra and Entraptor hiding slightly behind the bushes, watching She-Ra and her friends, whatever they were up to there by the waterside or whatever they were doing. They're just watching. What are they doing? This is what this looks like. Look at the posture of Skeletor. It's almost plaintive, you know. Look at him sneaking about on all fours. Skeletor actually looks quite intimidating and frightening in this when you finally get to see him, which is kind of interesting. Look at this unicornian beast as well. That's Teela there with a spear. And her having she has a quarterstaff normally in like the old cartoon. And in the 2003 cartoon it is, where she has the serpent staff, but she's quarterstaving with the serpent staff all the time. It looks weird. That's what I must have transplanted on top of like a lot of other Teela images with that staff. It really seems to be just that cartoon where it happens. I don't know how it became a dominant image, but whatever. At least in my mind. That's why I moaned about it. But when I actually looked, it's like quarterstaff and spear a lot of the time in the art. And there's that one... I don't know if I've got a picture of it, but there was that one piece... Was it in the art book? I think it was, where like Teela is pictured with the axe. That's I wish I had a copy of it that I could just put on screen. I don't think I had one, but it's a tribute of an image that's in these. It's a an homage, I should say, an homage. But even as He-Man constructed his dwelling, evil eyes were gazing upon Teela. This doesn't last, by the way, the T-La. The warrior goddess. Oh, the warrior goddess. What a title. As she watered her unicorn charger. There is none in all Eternia. Oh, sorry, there is none in all of Eternia as beautiful as she, grunted the ape-like beast man. I am really starting to believe she is a goddess. Soon she will be more than that, whispered his master, Skeletor. Soon she will be my bride. A tea leaf. Yeah, that's pretty good. There she is. She's the great beauty of the land. By the way, Skeletor's voice they give him in the cartoon is so good. It's like one of those, it couldn't be any other way. The Alan Oppenheimer voice. Despite how silly he is, if it was dead serious, like if it was made in Japan and it was made for 18-plus-year-olds, it was an adult show, I would still want that voice on Skeletor. It's difficult or impossible to separate. The only time it actually gets separated is when you're watching the Frank Langella performance in the movie, which is different enough that it warrants a whole different voice. Because when you watch like the other cartoons, they're all channeling the Oppenheimer performance. Like in the 2002 one, they're channeling the Oppenheimer performance. It's something about it is just inherently skeleton-y, right? Yeah. Anyway. Meanwhile, oh, look at the battle that's breaking out. There's Teela, who is blonde in this particular telling. Beastman is extra shaggy. They did have trouble getting Beastman's design right, because he always, like they said in the book we looked at, he often came across like a Wookiee, and they had to have him not look like Chewbacca. It was a big, who is this Pixel Dan? I see his name credited on one of the... He's on the toy encyclopedia. He must be a toy man. He must be an experienced toy appreciator. Well, good for him. Pixel Dan is a YouTuber name, so this video must be a YouTube video. Like big deduction there. But I don't know him. Might have to look him up. Might be good. Teela's mysteriously blonde here, yeah. But you know... Women do like to change their hair colour now and then. It's one of their prerogatives. But it was no simple matter to capture the warrior goddess. She fought like a demon, her body possessing the spirits of many ancestral champions. See this? This is where she gets all of her strength from. She's like a shaman almost. You know, she's in communion with spirits and that sort of thing. You know, intercedes on behalf of people with elemental forces, the spirits of the ancients and the ancestors and that sort of stuff. Which is something that gets perverted in certain properties. Not to mention Warcraft directly, but I just did. Into being able to throw rocks and fire, which is all wrong. Look, shamanism is a separate topic, but it's interesting that it crops up here in a sense. Ancestor veneration and ancestor worship, that sort of thing, because that is such a rich sword and sorcery sort of tradition. Metzen striking again. I actually think Horde culture is reasonably well thought out and well presented. It's heavily based on Celtic tribes and a bit of Norse, and they've got a whole hero culture going on there, and they've got different tribes and a high king sort of thing that they've got. There's a lot to be said about the orcs and how they reflect European tribal traditions. They even have like trial by combat written into their lore, which is pretty common in fantasy things. But they're at least up to a point, up to World of Warcraft and a little bit into World of Warcraft until like the late patches, or maybe just up to the first expansion before they start getting really clownish. That at a certain point it gets ridiculous and they lose sight of like what the character of. Look, we're getting dragged off. In any case, at some point it becomes oaf. Let's get back to the business. Her body possessed only Skeletor's energy blade, after freezing her courageous steed, at long last shocked her unconscious. "Carry her to Castle Grayskull," Skeletor commanded his underling Beastman. "But be careful. I do not like having my bride-to-be damaged." Look at this. There he is blasting the unicorn back there. And soon he blasts Teela. Beastman useless in battle here, at least. Look at him, completely blown back. Ugh. I don't know what 80s Moss Man even smells like anymore. I don't think I smelled him very often. Look at this. Castle Grayskull against the night sky, clouds crossing the moon. Interestingly enough, Stratos is pictured here among the bad guys, which he was originally listed as a villain. But immediately after this, I think he is like a good guy even in these stories. This is a great image, by the way. Here's Castle Grayskull with its notorious laser. Then there's a mysterious warrior up there, and we don't even know who he is. Right? We're not sure. Who is it? Is it Man-at-Arms? No idea. But it looks good. By nightfall, Skeletor and Beastman had brought their sleeping captive to Castle Grayskull. There's Merman as well. A fortress so ancient that no one knew its origin. An eerie voice, that of the castle's all-present spirit, warned them, "Go back. The secrets and treasures of Grayskull are for no one to possess. Go away." Maybe that's the spirit of Grayskull up there. Another warrior secretly watched as Skeletor defied the warning and forced open the castle's drawbridge. Another warrior, eh? Is that this figure up here? Who could that be? Oh, this is an excellent image. Look at Skeletor. He's given these red eyes, but they're like a distant glow that's like deep within the socket. It's pretty good. Beastman carrying Teela over the threshold there. The moon is now like in the background here. With multiple moons, no doubt. There's some crests, and Grayskull is a place of deep mystery. This is a great image. Skeletor's design is so good. I'm glad they didn't give him like boots. He's got these long-nailed feet. He looks excellent. Stratos is secretly evil. Yes. You get Skeletor's origin here, and it's quite interesting. And, like, this lore to me is much more interesting and is, frankly, far preferable to what we, like, got in the cartoon, which overrode all of this, sort of overwhelmingly became culturally, like, the dominant idea of what the Masters of the Universe was. See, this was before He-Man's name was even in the title. Entering the grim castle, Skeletor and his accomplice failed to notice the other warrior departing through the shadows in his heavily armed chariot. "I defy you, spirit of the castle," shouted Skeletor. "Your many secrets shall be mine. I hold half of the mystic power sword." There it is. "I shall soon possess the other half, which is hidden within your walls. Then I will have full power, and none of your deadly traps will stop me." You'll have full power. Great. Look at this. This is like explaining the origin of these things. Look at Skeletor. Oh, the red glow's not there. Look at how his skull is drawn. It's so gnarly and scary. Like, it's super good. "When I join both halves of the power sword together," exclaimed Skeletor, "the magic fires created by ancient scientists and sorcerers will blaze again." And he thought back. "Once I lived in another dimension, populated with others of my kind. But when the Great Wars opened a hole in the dimensional wall, I was thrown into this world. With the complete power sword, I shall reopen that hole and bring my people here to conquer this dimensional world." Apparently, he's like an interdimensional demon, basically, who's come to this world, doesn't belong here, and he's going to bring the rest of his kind over. That's his big plan. There's the multiple Skeletor. That's him entering this world. Or is that his plan of bringing more Skeletors over? Is that what it's... I guess that is what it's representing. That's his people. Oh my god. There's no Hordak in any of this. Let's see. This is my favorite image. This is absolutely gold. Look at this. It's got so many beautiful elements. There's Tila up here bound to this slab in like a mystical sacrifice of sorts. And Skeletor down here with an ancient scroll finding a secret passage. Beastman is in this shaft of light there, half in shadow, half in light. Skeletor's stepping out of the light and into this dark. It's so good. This is a phenomenal image. I absolutely love it. And it also looks like something you could assemble on the playset. Like if you had the Castle Grayskull and you had these figures or whatever figures. Because when you look at the playset, it's tiered. There's like a tier of this, then there's a roof, and there's another room up here. So you'd have scene going on up here, and you'd have scene going on down here. And it had a couple of really secrety aspects to it reflected in the secret door here. It was a great playset, right? After strapping the unconscious warrior goddess to a stone slab, Beastman searched, with animal-like cunning, through the castle. At last he found an ancient scroll upon which had been drawn a map. The map, which seemed to have been drawn in blood, had many strange symbols which only Skeletor could understand. "They show the way to a fiery sword," he shouted. Following the map, Skeletor led the way to a secret passage. Look at this. Here we are. Here's the mystery warrior. Why, who is this? Look, there's He-Man at his dwelling. Right? Yeah, everyone's more menacing. It's much closer to the sword and sorcery stuff that a young lad's big brother would have been into, like I said before. Potentially a young lad's dad would have had a lot of sword and sorcery stuff and Frazetta posters and things like that up on the wall. You know, girls tied to rocks in a sacrificial fashion. This isn't that far from that kind of action, because look at this. There's Tila up there. You know, it's super good. He-Man chooses the axe in this, yeah. He-Man was finishing his dwelling when he saw the approaching chariot. "And what brings the famous Man-at-Arms to my humble house?" He's heard of Man-at-Arms already. This is by Alfredo Alcala. Kyoku Sagani. It's fantastic work. Looks beautiful. Where was it? He asked sarcastically. Man-at-Arms, whose people were masters of all weapons, described what he had seen. "If Skeletor controls the castle, he might use its secrets to conquer Eternia," he said coldly. "And I shudder to think what fate he has planned for the warrior goddess." Yeah. We're not going to be able to read all of the... Because this PDF I have has the first 13, like, mini-comics. And it's only the first 4 or so, I think, that are in this style, which is super awesome. Look at this. Here's some technology. Here's the... that's the battle ram. This is, like, the front of the battle ram toy, this is. It's the Sky Sled, I think. But in this, I think it's just called the battle ram. "If we fight side by side," offered Man-at-Arms, "we can more easily defeat Skeletor and his henchmen." "You would be a worthy partner," said He-Man. "But if the threat is as great as you say, I have no time to waste getting to Castle Grayskull by wheels." And before Man-at-Arms could say another word, He-Man activated the Battle Ram's space warp device. Moments later, He-Man was vanishing, to reappear somewhere else. So he's a barbarian, but he's a ambiguous techno-barbarian already as He-Man, with all of his future equipment. Now, I don't think that's the Wind Raider. It's like the Battle Ram toy has this thing on the front of it, and it detaches and flies around, if I remember correctly. I don't know if I do remember. A lot of this comic, especially this very early one, are based on, like, the design work of the toys, because the toys weren't even properly made when this art was drawn, right? They weren't even out yet, so they were basing it on... Like, I don't know if this chariot ever became a thing, although it looks very familiar. I don't know if they produced that. Oh, these are the Rumours, Jiggy. Original He-Man that we're having a look at. There, look at this. So, He-Man teleports. Oh, look at this action going on. Skeletor and Beastman battering. Look at the spirit rising from the very walls of Castle Grayskull. At the castle, meanwhile, Skeletor and Beastman had reached the end of the secret passageway and had found a rusty metal door. But as they touched the door, the spirit of the castle cursed them and unleashed its ghostly demons. Beastman's claws and fangs only went through the spectres, but Skeletor's lightning blade quickly blasted them to nothingness. "Again I defeat you, spirit of the castle," rasped Skeletor. "Now, to seize your greatest treasure." Look at this. All of the best artwork and poses seem to reserved for Skeletor. Super good. Oh, hardcover He-Man comic. I should have invested in such a thing. I didn't know of this. Game I played where I was a prince and my mum turned out to be a dragon. That rings a bell. Real life. No, just kidding. My mum turned out to be a dragon. Wasn't Princess Maker. Does anyone remember that? Yeah, we took an extensive look at one of the He-Man art books recently. It was so interesting. It printed a lot of memos and letters, like very early pre-development, like the proposal stuff. That was some interesting business. Very worth looking at. Let's go to the next page and see what happens. Oh, look out, we're sticking with Skeletor and Beast. With Skeletor, look at this beautiful pose here. With his hand open here. It's so good. Alfredo Alcala knew what was up. The only thing that could improve it very much would be if Beastman had another tone. It wasn't completely red. I guess he's got this central thing, but a lot of the time that doesn't really show up. He's like a completely red figure. An Amiga game. Darkmere. Werewolf Korra, that's the one you want. Darkmere. Look at this mighty rent that Skeletor's put in the door there. Yet not even the brute strength of Beastman could break open the door. "Stand back, you ape!" ordered Skeletor, as he proceeded to cut through the ancient door with his lightning blade, as if it were melting butter. Yet even as the door gave way, a commotion could be heard from outside. "See what it is," commanded Skeletor, and Beastman loped obediently down the dark corridor. Look at that. What's going on here? Is this like damage to the book? Maybe it's a little bit ripped from this scan. Possible. The Art of... Now, that is the title of the book I looked at, I think. But I think there's like two that have that name. Or there's one with a very similar name that's a little more recent. Which I have coming in the mail. Oh, look at this action here. He-Man appearing. Outside the castle, He-Man was using his vehicle like a battering ram to gain entry. "He-Man," snarled Beastman, as he reached the castle's laser cannon and fired a deadly bolt toward his foe. But He-Man's force field garment easily repelled the blast. "Is that the best you can do, you brainless gorilla?" He-Man taunted. "If so, I have nothing to worry about." This is an old bit of lore, the force field garment. See, this harness projects a force field, right? That's what they did. This actually came up recently. I was watching a YouTube video where the mystery of Wonder Bread He-Man has been solved. Apparently this happened a couple of years ago. And what really clinched it, the guy used to work at Mattel. I'm going from memory, so I might not get the detail. I'll do it only in broad sense. He used to work at Mattel, and he had a big pile of stuff in his house, and he found a copy of a letter that was sent to Mattel from a mother complaining about the figure she received in the buy 3 get 1 offer. Because what they received was Savage He-Man, also known as the Wonder Bread He-Man. Apparently it wasn't a Wonder Bread deal at all. And she specifically mentions this figure, she says, like, you should have mentioned that it was going to be a special edition figure. And she had all these complaints. Where's his weapons? And where's his force field garment? She cited the force field garment specifically because it was prior to the cartoon. It was around the time of like the first wave of figures. And Savage He-Man, I think, was intended to represent like original He-Man here, leaving his tribe. Although the figure itself has brown hair, that's what differentiates it. And he has no force field garment and no weapons or anything. But people usually give him, I think there were spare weapons that were on the weapon rack in Castle Grayskull. If you had the Grayskull kit, you had like some spare web. They used to give him that, and I think there was like a harness. The black Zodak armor is cited frequently. Now I don't know enough about the toys and what came with them to really make a thing out of it. But they did make a model of this figure in the Classics line, and they called him Wondar for Wonder Bread because he was thought to be a Wonder Bread promotion. But apparently it's solved that this was not the case, and he was a buy 3 get one free figure. And he had force field. He specifically didn't have a force field garment, and it was complained about in that letter, which helped solve the mystery. So that's good. Yeah, they retconned all this lore, and they came up with other lore that would probably be easier to get on TV. It's not quite as violent. There's nothing's written in blood. There's no Skeletor doesn't look as scary. There was probably a little bit of that motivation involved. You know, force field garments. Yeah, maybe we don't want to. What if we make it more of a superhero thing? You know, but that's a whole other matter. The cartoon didn't come about straight away. It was a couple of years. Like, when did it launch? 81, He-Man? Or 80, late 80 or 81? The cartoon didn't come until 83 or something, did it? They had like a good long time before the cartoon came, and with its new canon and Games Workshop fashion, overwriting previous canon and successfully, actually, overriding all of this in the minds of children everywhere with the parent, I'll say parent-approved, parent-friendly program, because this stuff was very appealing to children, like, but it's the parents you've got to market to when you're making stuff for children. Different groups of people making things up, maybe so, but not arbitrarily. They did have an objective with the cartoon and everything. Yeah, Masters of the Universe film came out way too late. 87 was like the dying year. It didn't save it, unfortunately. Here's Beastman up on the notorious laser turret, blasting He-Man off, who might be leaping off the thing. Perhaps He-Man did not have to worry about the laser cannon penetrating his force field, but he did not figure on Beastman choosing a new target, the vehicle which was not protected by that barrier of force, as He-Man rolled out of the overturning vehicle, like in what's that Reb Brown movie where he screams and then awkwardly rolls out of his vehicle? Space Raiders? No, that's not it. I don't know what it is. Where was I? As He-Man rolled out of the overturning vehicle, his costume's force field was accidentally switched off. Now, to finish you off, growled Beastman, aiming the laser cannon at his seemingly helpless victim. Oh, look at Skeletor. Look at him. See the deep pits of his eyes with this deep inner glow, sort of red mark. It looks good, man, to me. The poor Masters of the Universe. I think, ultimately, that the Masters of the Universe movie isn't very good, but I do find a fair bit in there to admire. Like, I like it still. Overall, even though it's ruined. I like the start, and I like the end, and the bits in the middle that don't focus on the normal people, except for Principal Strickland. What's his name? He's a police officer. He's keen, anyway. He's like the second best character after Skeletor. And I like Gwildor. A lot of people don't really like Gwildor, but I like Gwildor. Mainly because I really like Billy Barty, and I find all of his performances charming. Inside the tunnel, Skeletor saw the shiny object. Its broken blade seemed to beckon to him. He grasped it in his scaly hands, then eagerly placed the two halves of the ancient object together. He could feel the unbelievable energies of the sword as the blade burst into green fire. "The restored power sword!" he exclaimed. "With this, I am invincible! There is nothing I cannot do, nothing!" Weapon in hand, he turned thirsty for battle. So confirmed he's scaly, which really suits the way he's drawn and his colour. Like he has a scaly texture to him, Skeletor. Pretty good. Golan and Globus, those were rogues. That Menachem Golan. And Yuri Globus. What is it? Yuri? I don't remember his name. Canon. I restarted my stream secretly. Which turned out to be good, because we're going into the He-Man phase. So we've got the He-Man stream. Yeah, I had a little bit of a thing there. This is alright. Look what's going on here. Look at He-Man. This should have worked in the text adventure. Hit code. You got to type hit code to open the jaw bridge. This should have worked. Just open jaw bridge like a king. You just do it physically. Before Beastman could make good his threat, his attack was interrupted by the timely appearance of Man-at-Arms, firing his flame-throwing weapon. Man-at-Arms said, "I'll keep him occupied, He-Man." Turning to the castle, He-Man pulled with all his mighty strength, taxing his natural power to the limit. Finally, he pulled down the creaking jaw bridge, flexing his muscles, and said, "Now to help T-La and stop the evil Skeletor." Yeah, damn right. This is heroic stuff. Super good. You know, Castle Grayskull, I think, might be my single favourite thing about Masters of the Universe. I love the way it looks. I love the way it's designed. I like its asymmetrical towers. I like that it has a laser turret. And I like that it's a place of great secret and mystery. And no matter how it's laid out, I always enjoy seeing into it. There's all this, and it's almost one of those places that will just weirdly change itself over the centuries. So I don't mind if it's got some canonical layout. I don't think it does have a canonical layout. And if it does, then it's the Masters of the Universe game on the Commodore 64. That's the canonical layout with the boudoir. Through the lizard room to the boudoir. This is the correct layout. Look at He-Man. He doesn't have any garments anymore. Look what's going on. Skeletor has the advantage. Throwing off his damaged force field costume, including his boots, bafflingly enough, here in this illustration. He-Man hurried down the castle elevator, finding Skeletor waiting for him. Did the toy have a working elevator function? It might have done. I don't really remember it. I know some playsets had elevators and that sort of thing. It might have done. I never had Castle Grayskull myself. Now, where was I? Finding Skeletor waiting for him. With a simple wave of the power sword, Skeletor brought to life many objects inside the castle and commanded them to attack his foe. Without his force field to protect him, He-Man fought off the barrage of objects as best he could. But the objects, energized by the power sword, continued coming. "This is only the beginning," boasted Skeletor. Oy. This is perfectly the basis for a Commodore 64 platformer, where you're going through a semi-abstract environment, jumping over floppy disks and scissors and shoes, which are the enemies for some stupid reason. I don't know. So many Commodore 64 platformers have shoes and a foot as one of the enemies going left and right, a slinky thing, whatever was easy to draw, I guess. But geez, what is going on? I don't know if it's excessive imagination or a crippling lack of imagination that causes people... Jeff Minter accepted, right? He's an exception to this complaint, really. Because he's such an auteur with his stuff. It's so natural to his idiom. I think he's the one many copy with that stuff. Him and Matthew Smith, these memorable auteur game makers. Oh, look what's happening now. The sorceress has appeared. Skeletor is taken aback. But Skeletor's moment of triumph was abruptly ended as a beautiful figure appeared before him, glowing green like the energies of the Power Sword. "You have abused the Power Sword," said the sorceress said. You gotta read it correctly. The sorceress said. "You have abused the Power Sword," the sorceress said, and with magical gestures she removed the Power Sword from Skeletor's hand, splitting it again into halves. Immediately the objects attacking He-Man dropped lifelessly to the floor. A moment later, the sorceress vanished. So good. This is incredible business. I'm fully in favor of this. Yeah, kids don't mind mine. Hey, I've got a memory of being baffled as why, like, He-Man's braces, like the Van braces, are always flesh-coloured. Is that something that was true of other people's He-Man toys? Did he have, like, flesh-coloured, like, braces? Or was that, or am I dreaming that? Or was that just some of the He-Man toys? They didn't have a metal colour. Here, this painting, this one in particular was repainted by I don't remember who, but we looked at a really high-fidelity version of this. And it was remarkable because Teela had a battle axe in it. Yeah, they weren't painted on the original toy. I wonder why they didn't just leave that detail off then. They probably intended to paint it at some point, and by the time they'd done the sculpts or the, what do they call it, the tooling and all that guff, they might have thought, you know, we'll save all this money. Let me see if I can find the, like, the more high... I don't know if it was in the art book or if I had, like, a digital... But we were looking at it once, and I said it was remarkable because Teela had an axe in it. And she looked awesome. And this is the painting to which it was an homage. The only problem is I can't find it in the archives, which makes me think that it was in the art book, although I can't remember exactly. I don't remember much of anything half the time. The SAS troopers appeared. Well met. Yeah, man. You're playing... You think it'd be a simple thing. Oh, just go the extra mile. Go the extra... Just paint it. You know, you think just paint it. But sometimes when the realities of profit margins are explained to me, I temporarily am able to adopt the mindset of someone who has to pay for getting these things made, and I'm like, oh, we're not paying for that. Like, I fully understand, like, why things aren't painted. All of a sudden I get it. And then I go back to just wanting it to be good. I just want it to be perfect, damn it. They were remarkable figures, the Masters. I can't find this painting or whatever it was. I don't know if it was old or new, or was it a Rudy, what's his name, or a Jose Cabello? I don't think it was an Earl Norham. I suppose it might have been. Yeah. I'm just having a quick cast in here to see if I can find it so I can look at it. I want to see it again, but I can't find it for the life of me. Teela with the axe. I remember she looked especially good. Well, it's things like if you can't make if you can't make money with them, they just don't get made in the first place, and then we're bereft of some of our chief cultural things. You think Robert E. Howard would have written Conan if he wasn't going to make money off it? Probably not. It probably would have remained an inner dream. Well, he might have written it because he was kind of mad, but he might not have. At the same moment, the changes instituted by Reagan, hey? Interesting. It's outside the scope of my reckoning, I'm afraid. I can't find this painting. I'm going to have to perhaps admit defeat. I'm going to have one more search in the archive. Let me have a quick look here. Masters of the... Here's his Duel of the Masters by Clyde Caldwell. That's in here. Duel of the Masters. Clyde Caldwell, a monk taking care of the undead there. With a sorceress and a sorcerer, potentially a ninja, I'm not sure. In the background, Duel of the Masters. Obviously a David Carradine figure there in the foreground. Actually very evocative of Carradine's appearance in The Sword and the Sorceress, to be honest with you. As a Homeric knight. That's a whole other matter. This is a whole other matter. Duel of the Masters. Step back. That's a different thing. He-Man, He-Man. The Dragon Walker. What was that all about? No, I can't find it. It's not here. It's just plain old not here. No, I guess it's not here. Phooey. I wish I had it and I could show it to you. Here's this. Here's the magic mirrors. This is an Earl Norham painting. I liked Earl Norham's artwork in particular. Fisto and Ram Man in the background. Skeletor and Evil Lyn in the foreground. I don't think Evil Lyn appears in these early. She wasn't one of the first line of figures, I don't think. I find these characters often look good because their designs are so strong, but they seldom ever look as good as when they're drawn by the high caliber artists like Earl Norham, who can really make excellent use of the designs. Nonetheless, let's get back to this business. Let's get back to the story at hand. Yeah, the Evil Lyn theme for the cartoon. It's basically the theme of the bad guys. Right? For some reason, here it is. Ugh, hang on. No, it isn't. Hey. Evil Lyn theme. Yeah, man. I really like the soundtrack to the cartoon. I think they did a wonderful job. I do like the cartoon a lot, but I think it's like the worst thing about here's that Evil Lyn painting I had as well that someone did. I've got it in the archive for some reason. It's a DeviantArt painting by Dario Jart, according to this. That's good enough. Dario Jart's Evil Lyn. I cannot see Evil Lyn with white hair. Apparently that became canon at some point. But I can only see her with black hair. I don't see why. I can't ever summon it. Yeah, Jiggy, you're fortunate. It means you can be judicial as you like. You don't have nostalgia or any affection for the times of your youth spent with the cartoon like I do, because I was deep into it when I was a lad, of course, because the cartoon retained enough sword and sorcery, right, to be enticing to a lad who had also at some point been exposed to Frazetta and Conan and things like that. Although I don't think I was by that point, but if you were, then you would have recognized the themes. Nonetheless, having lost his most powerful weapon, Skeletor fled to the roof of the castle, where Beast-Man and Man-at-Arms were already engaged in mortal combat. He-Man saw an awakened Tila tear herself free of her bonds. Then both warriors rushed up to the castle's elevator. Soon they were hotly engaged in the rooftop battle. Hopelessly outnumbered, Skeletor and Beastman both pleaded, "Mercy!" With that plea, the battle ended. Right? They don't go as far as killing their opponents, because you can't canonically have the toys be dead. You wouldn't be able to play with them then. You know. Are we talking about Chitara? A memorable character, Chitara. There they go. Running off. I think Tila is not pictured with an axe often enough. And in these comics, she has like this 60s mini dress sort of thing going on instead of a leotard. Chitara was a leotard wearer, wasn't she? Or did she have something else going on? I'm pretty sure she had a leotard. I'd be shocked if she didn't. There's this beautiful moon. They're running off into the evening there. Skeletor and Beastman. He's just completely outnumbered. Together, He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Teela watch their defeated foes flee toward the horizon. Then, seeing an apparition below, they climb down from the roof of the castle. From now on, said the sorceress, only the halves of the power sword inserted into this enchanted lock, this also didn't happen in the game, will open the castle's drawbridge. And to keep this castle from again falling into evil hands, I shall hide both halves in secret places. Oy. Saying that, she vanished again in a green cloud. So she was the apparition. So she's a separate figure from Teela. Right. There's the early designs of the Spirit of Castle Grayskull had this spirit that you could attach to one of the battlements, I think. It had like a plastic, transparent, vaporous skull like that. There's our heroes. You truly are the masters of the universe, who are destined to protect my secrets from evil forces, said the spirit of the castle. You should have at least some small reward. That reward came in the form of a snow-white unicorn that galloped over the hill. It's golden in my screen here. Returning to his mistress. Do you think that this is the last of those two? Or the power sword? Asked Man-at-Arms. I doubt it, answered He-Man. But as he looked toward the rising sun, it seemed to be a good omen for Eternia and the masters of the universe. Super good. Right? That, for me, as a lad, that would have fully set the stage for hours and hours and days of playing with the toys. Battle Cat without his helmet. Should we read another round? The helmet's off, actually. There it is in the background. Should we have another? There's Alfredo P. Alcala's signature down there. Dated 1981. There's Teela there with the serpent staff. Still blonde here in this one. Looks kind of more leotardian than what she's wearing there than Battle Cat. You remember there's more than one Battle Cat. Because I was looking recently, it might have been in the book. You look at the Battle Cat box art, and in the background there's these other Battle Cats that like the bad guys are riding. Because in the original conception, they just must have been a general vehicle or a general mount that people could get. Panther is what Skeletor winds up with, but it's like Battle Cats are a general thing. Here he is. He-Man on Battle Cat. Rocking up to Castle Grayskull, with Skeletor's already lurking. Like Battle Cat is the generic name of what they are. Skeletor's always seems to be lurking, like he was lurking in his very first appearance back in the first thing here. Him and Beastman, there they are. They're just lurking. They're just hanging out. Spying on Teela from the mildly hidden. I like the idea that a Battle Cat is the in this world is the name of just a big cat. Because what else are you going to do with such a beast other than ride it into battle? Oops. Here we are. On his way home from battle, he... I like how he's just on his way home from battle. Like it's just a general thing that he does. Again, it's setting you up for play. Of course he's off having battle during the day. What else do you expect him to do? And then he goes home in the evening. On his way home from battle. There he is. On his way home from battle, He-Man, the greatest of the masters of the universe, halted Battle Cat near the mysterious fortress Castle Grayskull. Apparently it is his name here. A long day at the battle office. You're too right. The castle was built by unknown hands before the Great Wars, he said to Battle Cat. It is said that whoever controls the castle controls the universe. Riding away from the castle, He-Man was unaware of a skull-faced figure watching from a parapet. Ding ding. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, she's got red hair now. An amendment has been made. Red hair. He's on his way home from battle. Wonder who he was battling. Like monsters, like in some distant place, trying to get some treasure. Just a general barbarian adventure. Like whatever you want, you can imagine for that, and then you can play it with your toys, as I would have done when I was a lad. He's off doing something. He's battling some beast somewhere for some reason. Skeletor, Lord of Destruction, and the most cunning, fiendish villain on the planet Eternia, wielded his energy blade. Mystical forces, created in another dimension, shot from the blade to form a magic lens. "Now," said Skeletor to himself, "let us see what wonders are happening within Castle Grayskull." An image of beauty slowly appeared in the lens. An image of beauty slowly appeared in the lens. That's right. It is the warrior goddess, smiled Skeletor. Somehow smiled. I guess he just can. He's always grinning. An image of beauty slowly appeared in the lens. It's a good sentence. It is the warrior goddess, smiled Skeletor. I like the term warrior goddess for Teela. It's good. Oh, look at this. We're getting the premise. Look at this Roman-style lord here on the throne, the true king, the destined prophesied king. Look at this. It's super good. The prophecy. Teela, no longer Teela, by the way. Teela listened as the spirit of the castle spoke. Legend tells of a warrior who will find the split halves of the power sword. One half is hidden at Eternia's highest point. The other is beneath its hardest rock. With both halves, he can enter the castle and claim the throne and the secrets of the universe. You are to be the guardian here. Thank you, Teela replied. This is an honor. She's just trapped in the castle. It's custodial work. Oh, well, that's all right. At least it's romanticized custodial work. Oh, look at what's going on here. Stratos, no longer a villain. Melting the peak of power up here, the highest point. Stratos is allegedly winged, but he only is mildly winged. They gave him mega wings in like the 2002 version, didn't they? He's got like arm wings. They're a little bit weird. But he's got them. I prefer this version, frankly. Skeletor then swore that he would become king of Castle Grayskull by making the legend come true. But first, he needed the halves of the power sword. Eternia's highest point is the mountaintop realm of my winged enemy, Stratos, he said. Finding the peak, Skeletor saw the sword, half buried in a rock. Using the hottest blast of his energy blade, he freed the half-weapon from its bed. The hottest blast. This weapon Skeletor's got is the ultimate one. This energy blade. It can freeze and it can, like, inflame. It's super good. An Origins release for Strat. What are these Origins? Are they classic style, or are they like slight redesigns? What's going on? Oh, look what's going on here. He-Man blown back by Merman. This is some great artwork. Oh, this is He-Man's house. That's his house that he built. The second clue can refer only to the hard rock upon which He-Man built his home, grinned Skeletor. With obedient Merman to aid him, Skeletor went to He-Man's home. Before He-Man could grab one of his superpower outfits, Merman attacked. Not even Battle Cat could protect his master. As He-Man fell, Skeletor's energy blade revealed the other half of the coveted power sword. You don't ever seem to get like a good look at He-Man's house, because it wasn't a playset. Maybe they didn't make a He-Man's house playset. They so it's off screen. Yeah, there were She-Ra mini comics. They were way later though, and weren't in this old continuity. Unfortunately, I'd say. Oh, Skeletor! He's opening the drawbridge with the lock. He's got both halves. Skeletor left Merman to finish off the fallen foe. Then he set out on foot for Castle Grayskull. He paused only to disguise his scully face with greyish clay. When he reached the castle, he looked up at its grey-skulled facade, and he boldly thrust both halves of the power sword into the stone lock. A grating, creaking sound came from the castle. The drawbridge opened to swallow its new king. This is quite well written, you know. Rather good. Oh, man. The drawbridge. Except, you know, it's not really a bridge to anything. It just has land under it. Once upon a time, and maybe in the future, there'll be a great chasm with a squiddly beast in there that you have to jump over. Oh, there she is. There's Skeletor, not even disguised in this image at least. He looks good. Teela trustingly waited. Oh, classic mistake. Teela trustingly waited, and the disguised Skeletor walked through the castle and rode to the upper level on the elevator. The toy has to have an elevator because they keep bringing it up. She saw that his face was much like that of the castle's own facade. "You must be the king," exclaimed Teela, "but I did not expect you to arrive so soon." "Don't waste a king's time with chatter, woman," he bellowed. "Just show me to my majestic throne." Ah, there he is. Look at him with his Roman lavishment there on the throne. Look at this phoenix or dragon or bird thing in the background. There's a good look at Teela's mini dress design that she sort of has in this version. Very modern. With feelings of triumph and contempt, Skeletor seated himself on the throne. Though it was ancient, the throne moved, and Skeletor recognized its secret devices and controls. What power would he have? Oh, what power he would have! What power he would have. "How may I serve you, Majesty?" "How may I serve you, Majesty?" asked Teela. "This way!" he laughed, wiping off the disguising clay as he turned the throne 90 degrees to face a door, a trapdoor, that opened beneath Teela. Look at this. I love the way the wood looks. This is drawn so well to me. I think this is top-level work. Making excellent use of the character designs as well. There's Skeletor, triumphant, immediately gets out of his throne to pose. Typical Skeletor. The interior of Castle Grayskull looks so good. Look how shadowy it is back there. You know, that sort of thing is great. Alone on the upper level, Skeletor gazed at his new domain, marveling at the wonders of the civilization that had built the castle. He saw computers, monitor screens, weapons, and many wonderful controls. "These things are mine!" he shouted to the unseen spirit of the castle. "The secrets of the universe are now at my command. Soon Eternia and all other worlds will belong to me. I am now king!" Meanwhile, look at this battle playing out. Merman and He-Man are facing off. As Skeletor studied the many marvels of the castle, Merman was still engaged in a losing battle. "You should have hurried back to your sea when you had a chance," yelled He-Man, "because I have had time to get into my force field garment." As Merman aimed for a closer blast at He-Man, an angry roar filled the air, and Battle Cat made a successful attack, turning the tide of battle. I like Merman, actually. I'm a big fan of Merman. A big fan of Merman and Battle Cat. Oh, meanwhile, Skeletor tunes in. Is displeased with what he sees, no doubt. I love the design of these computers. Like, the Eternian technology across He-Man is very mysterious. In this continuity, like, it's mysterious to them as well. It would be completely mysterious to us. We wouldn't understand how it works, you know? It'd be like, you know, if you subscribe to the multiverse, that means there's a universe somewhere that has something in it, technology-wise, or whatever, but probably technology-wise, that they would find unimaginable to live without that we don't have. Be like finding an alternate world that has computers and everything, and yet has not figured out running water. You know? That'd be like us. How are they... What do you mean you don't have running water? It's so obvious. There's a world out there with something that's so obvious, and we haven't figured it out. We're going along without it. Well, it's a little bit like that. I see this technology like your cybernetics just works. They have the secret of cybernetics in Masters of the Universe somehow, with like Triclops and his robot parts. It just works, and the secret's probably something super obvious, and they look at us and think, you don't even have this. Like, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong. You're using inefficient combustion engines in your cars. Why, it doesn't even run on neutrinos, or whatever Gwildor does to the car in the movie. Battered and defeated, Merman limped away to heal his wounds. He-Man put on another outfit that increased his already great strength. Then, mounting Battle Cat's saddle, he rode toward the distant castle to find Skeletor and the Power Sword. "You survived that dull-witted Merman," said Skeletor, as on a monitor he watched He-Man approach the castle. "But you will not survive King Skeletor." Oh! He-Man instantly runs afoul of the drawbridge by the looks of it. He-Man dismounted from Battle Cat and cautiously moved toward the castle. He knew that only the complete Power Sword could open the castle's drawbridge. Nevertheless, He-Man tugged at the closed drawbridge with all of his superhuman strength. "It appears He-Man needs aid," said Skeletor, opening the drawbridge by means of a panel control, and thus flipping the surprised hero into the castle. Look at that. What a maneuver. Oh, look at this. Is this a demonstration of the force field? What is this? "Castle Grayskull now has its king," taunted Skeletor. "Are you not going to kneel to the king?" "You'll not be so glib once I wipe that grin from your skull face, friend," threatened He-Man. "We shall see, oafish one," laughed Skeletor, his fingers moving to one of the throne's hidden controls to release a barrage of jolting energy. Darkness came swiftly to He-Man. What an oaf. What an oaf. Oh, this is another great image. He-Man rampaging and busting out of prison here in the background. It's a nice picture of Teela in the front here, and a nice lot of dungeon setting, a good use of light coming in. It's good stuff. When consciousness returned to He-Man, he was in a dank dungeon with another prisoner. "Teela," he gasped. "Skeletor has gone insane." "We must escape," she exclaimed. "We must stop him before he masters all of the castle's secrets." "Be thankful that the fiend did not strip me of this garment of strength," replied He-Man, as he tore the ancient cell door from its hinges. This garment of strength. Oy. Now look at this action. God, a mega battle is taking place. With enchanted suits of armor, I believe. Here, look at this. Having mastered more of the castle's detection devices, Skeletor was aware of his foe's escape. "The fools have evaded one trap, only to be prey to others more deadly," he bragged as he activated the control near his throne. In response, empty suits of armor moved to the weapons rack, taking instruments of death from its cache. They marched towards He-Man and Teela. They're defeated before the paragraph, by the looks of it. Look at He-Man, deep in battle. What about your axe, He-Man? There's an axe here. You should be using that. There's a flail. Oi. That's big. He's using the serpent staff as a quarterstave here. Wanting to watch his enemy's defeat, Skeletor took the Power Sword and stepped back from the throne. He-Man continued to battle the moving but lifeless army. When one armor fell, another took its place. Enjoying He-Man's almost sure defeat, Skeletor forgot about the warrior goddess. Then, suddenly, he felt a hard blow from Teela's spear. Something fell from Skeletor's hand. "My Power Sword!" he screamed. This is not a spear. We've got discord between the art and the text, but that's normal. Yeah, it is Papa Zuzu. It's established in the... early on. See, The origin of He-Man is that he's a barbarian who leaves his tribe to battle evil elsewhere, and he instantly rescues Teela from a slavering beast, or the sorceress, excuse me, who gifts him with the garments of power and these weapons and equipment and the boots, naturally. And thereafter he is a great warrior of the land who goes to battle by day and comes home by night. Now, where were we up to here? We've seen that part. We're here. We were just having a mega battle. Right here. Oh, this looks great. I love the skyscape here. It's all cosmos, with all these heavenly bodies up there. And the amazing physiques below. And the mega castle, obviously. As the power sword hit the floor, it split back into halves. Moments later, the remaining suits of armor crashed uselessly to the floor. There was no time for Skeletor to reach the power sword. "Now I must escape!" cried the would-be king. Bolting to the upper level of the castle, Skeletor reached the ladder that led to the parapets. His angered enemies were in close pursuit. I like how all the ladders are just rubbish. They're just sticks held together with twine. Or maybe there's more to it than it appears. I don't know. Yeah, the illustrations are great. Alfredo Alcala's work. Oh, look at this. Again, beautiful cosmology here. Skeletor on the turret. Look at this heroic advancing, like ducking down. Looks great. Look at the hair. Reaching the roof, Skeletor saw the castle's laser cannon. Leaping to the weapon, he aimed it at the pursuing warrior and warrior goddess. "Down!" He-Man shouted to Teela, as deadly energy bolts blasted at them. He felt the heat of the beam, and smelled the singeing of his hair. If that ray hits us, we'll be burned to ashes. Skeletor fired again. Oy. Super good. Look at the darkness of the sky. All of these scenes, this artwork is so tremendous. Very memorable. Oh, look at this mega attack by He-Man. The skeleton blasted off the parapets, actually. Yeah, to match the play features, that's right. The elevator too, I'll wager, though I don't remember an elevator. I never had the set, you see. I assume there was one. There was no time for delay. In a blurred movement, He-Man lunged forward with the speed incredible for a man his size. With a powerful shove, he turned the laser cannon's direction of fire. Less than a moment later, He-Man was upon his worst enemy. "The battle ends now," said He-Man, as their struggle brought them ever closer to the parapet's edge. Nothing could prevent their fall. Look at this. Amazing heroism. This is the ultimate struggle of good and evil. Oi. Again, Skeletor fleeing into the distance. His Battle Cat's not even pursuing him. He-Man's super strength garment absorbed the impact of the fall, but Skeletor would not accept defeat. He might have destroyed He-Man with the energy blade had he not heard a guttural scream. "He-Man's Battle Cat!" cried Skeletor as the great feline lashed at him with a paw. Battle Cat did not have to make a second swipe, for the once King of Grayskull was fleeing for his life. Look at that. Off he goes into the distance. Poor Skeletor. Defeated again. Oi! The spirit of Grayskull again making a decisive move, looks like. Battle Cat there with his giant harness. Battle Cat looks awesome, by the way. I like the goblin-y, like gargoyle-y nose on his mask, which was most obvious in that profile art we saw in the art book of the early design drafts. With Skeletor departed, the spirit of the castle appeared again. "I must make sure that the halves of the power sword are never again used for evil," said the chilling voice. "I shall send them into another dimension, where even clever Skeletor will have great difficulty finding them." He-Man and Teela watched the divided power sword shimmer with eerie energy, and then fade away. This idea about the sword being two halves is something that really came back in later lore. Like the 2002 version has the two-halved sword, doesn't it? Or is it just a thing that Skeletor has? I don't know. That also factored into another cartoon during the period, but the title escapes me at the moment. There's the spirit of Grayskull. Look at Teela's side saddle on the back of Battle Cat there. Where is she sitting? Oh, just here on the edge. Can't be too comfortable there, though. Centuries may pass before the true king comes to claim his throne and fulfill the prophecy of legend, said the spirit. Go then, masters of the universe, and fight evil wherever you find it. He-Man and Teela did as ordered. As they departed, the spirit of the castle seemed to smile, knowing that at the proper time, He-Man would prove himself to be the true king of Castle Grayskull. There we are. He-Man rides away with a calm expression, a calm visage. And that's it. There's more of the Vengeance of Skeletor. They go on. But I don't know that we have time to read, like, 50 more books. Awesome though they be. I mean, look at this. Look how good they are. Oh, there's Beastman with a bit more colour variety. He's got like a blue loincloth and a different colour red harness. That looks better. Oh, look at this. It's Night Ambush. A lot of this art's wonderful, man. We should save the rest to read at a later date. But if we go ahead, the art's not as good, right? And it turns into comic book. Which I prefer the storybooks, frankly. Oh, there's man-y faces. But it still looks awesome. Like, He-Man's still getting around with this battle axe, and Teela's got the cobra hood and all of that business. Save for future He-Man streams. We have other He-Man business ahead of us. This was great. Let me return to my favourite panel again, just to look at it. It was Skeletor going into the secret passage. This is just 10 out of 10 in my view. Super good. With like this very sword and sorcery scenario up here with the maiden tied to the stone. Skeletor finding a secret passage, the mysterious scroll, the mysteries of Grayskull, right? The only flaw is that Beastman is just a single colour. I like his posture and expression, though, where he doesn't quite comprehend what's happening before him, because he's a Beastman. Right? He looks kind of tired, but he's the servant of Skeletor and is bound to that task forever, I guess. Manny faces are great. This is a perfect establishment of like a context for playing games in. There's not too much lore. Like He-Man just goes to battle, and whatever battle entails, that's for you to make up. Everything outside these specific points so far in these books is all to your imagination, and it just inspires just enough so that you can get completely robust play out of it. And I think they're just 10 out of 10. Wonderful, right? Oh, the dungeon, great, very famous with all. That looks like it's absolutely full of horrible, ghouly things. Bing, there we are. Now, who's up for the Commodore 64 adventure game? Because I did find one bit of tantalizing lore that will help us get, like, it'll help us get one more step closer. Oh, God. One more step closer down the road of how come this isn't capturing? Down the road of this game. I want to make a little progress. I was thinking about how to best execute this, and I think we have to go through the mirror early and come back. Hang on, I've got a little bit of a problem here. I don't know why it's not capturing. I haven't changed anything. C64. That's it, isn't it? How come it's not working all of a sudden? No, this is bad when this happens. C64. Might have to play the BBC Micro version. I don't have a BBC Micro emulator, actually. There is a BBC Micro version of this, I think. I don't think it has graphics, though, from what I saw. I was trying to do research, and I came across some lore at the same time that revealed a clue to me. Yes, stream it. Come on. There it is. Where was it? Took forever. All right. Let's do it. Masters of the Universe. Terrorquake. That's what we're playing. Got to select the right one. I've got two of them. That one. No, not that one. No, do not use it. No, not that one. Masters of the Universe. A text adventure of genre that I wouldn't have associated with Masters of the Universe, and yet here it is. Load. Oh, it did the run part itself? Doesn't normally do that. Is it loading? Yeah, there we go. Ugh. Here we are. The C64. This is a no audio cracked row, which we're going to disregard. Do you want to restore a save game? No. All right. So the thing that I learned is that the time links are the hands of the clock. This didn't occur. It really feels like I should have realized this. But they're called time links. I'm thinking, what are time links? I thought they were like a machine part that goes in the gate. But they're the hands of the clock. Now, my assumption is that I have to get the time links. And there's only two of them then, I believe, unless there's a second hand. But I'm going to assume there's only two. We found two. One's through the mirror, and the other one is just in the garden. They're the time links. Then we take them to the castle, and I guess we attach them to the clock, and then we have to go and look at the hands that are printed on the rostrum, and I guess we turn the clock to different times. I'm guessing that's what's going on. Because the sorceress said, if we restore the time links, she'll give us a weapon capable of defeating Skeletor. We go east, King Randor, or Radnor. This game frequently misspells characters' names. Then we go southwest. You are in your chambers. A bed stands in the room. You can go northeast. And if we push the post of the bed... You don't have to know that. It does give you clues if you're only seeing this for the first... This is all stuff we've figured out. There's clues that you can get. A panel slides open on the southern wall, so we can go south. You are in He-Man's inner sanctum. You see a recess within the walls. It is glowing. You can go north. Look at recess. You have found something of worth. The earth tremors more violently. See, the premise here is that Skeletor's built an earthquake machine that is like agitating the stone men to undermine all of Eternia and cause mega damage. Get sword of power. See, we're Prince Adam at the moment, and now there's a mighty flash as you cry out, by the power of Grayskull. A moment later, you are the mighty He-Man. Press any key to continue. You are in He-Man's inner sanctum. You can go north. Now we are He-Man. Oh, that dastardly Skeletor. Well, what an oaf. Now we go northeast. And I think south from here... Where's my map? I have most of a map. South from here leads to the mirrors. So I'm going to go there first and get like the first time link on my way. Alright, here we go. Here's the mirrors. Enter mirror. You pass through a whirling rainbow of colours. Now, we don't have the minus manacle. Now, the time link... I don't know what to do with the rest of the stuff in here, but the time link is west. You're in a large echoing chamber. The sound of running water can be heard coming from the south. We go south. Suddenly you feel a vicious swipe in the air as Montana, the bane of Eternia, attacks you. There he is. There's Montana, or Mantena, right? He's spelt both ways on this screen, as you might be able to see there. And what you have to do is attack Mantena with sword. And if you don't type with sword, your attack fails. Your sword of power cuts the terrorized Montana, and he vaporizes. Now we look at stalactites, or just look stalactites would do it. And there's a time link. Get time link. Now we go north. And we're going to go back. Back the way we came. This is how you do it. Now we're in the mirror. Enter mirror. Now we'll be back in the mirror place and we'll go north. And then we're in the crystal hallway again and we'll go east. There's wax on the walls. Get wax. We don't know what to do with the wax yet. Now south. Carlos Montana. South. Then east. Now we're in a garden with a shattered glass. I think I can just go get glass, can't I? Yeah. And if I look garden, you found something of worth. There's a time link. And you go from here. How do we get to, is it southeast? Leads to the place. An unsightly rubbish tip at the edge of the garden. There it is. Look, Chip. You found something of worth. The fish bones and rotted paper. The rotted paper disintegrates as soon as you get it, but we'll get the fish bones. Probably Battle Cat ate the fish bones. We don't know where he is. He doesn't seem to appear in this game at all. North from here, do we? Yeah, we're on a road made of solid gold. The indulgence. The indulgence of such a road. We can go east. Here we are at the tavern. We go south. The Man-at-Arms Tavern. Look at people. You see a familiar face. It's Man-at-Arms. Talk to man at arms. Maybe talk to man will work. Yeah, Man-at-Arms says, I must stay and help these poor people rebuild their homes. But take this new weapon I have recently perfected. And he puts what is called the moleculator. Get moleculator. And if you look at the moleculator, it gives you a hint. It's a device for destroying burrowing animals. Man-at-Arms was completely wild against them. We go north. We go west. Now, I'm not going to confront and destroy Evil Lyn. Right? We are southwest. Because I think we want that locking spell for something. I can't imagine what it is yet. South from here leads to more road. The highway, actually. According to my map. And west from here, you stand by the moat, which flows around Castle Grayskull. Something is stirring beneath the murky waters. You can go east. Jump over moat. And on my map, this next screen is represented by 2 words. Hit. Coat. This is what you have to type to get in. Nothing else works. Because there's a coat of arms on the drawbridge, and the way you get in is hit coat. The drawbridge lowers to allow entrance. Enter castle. Hit coat is what you do. And here we are. Now, you'd think we were coming westward into the castle, but you go east. Doesn't take you back out, it takes you to the math room. The walls are inscribed with complicated equations. You also see an abacus and minus manacle. Get all. The minus manacle... yeah, I did think... Who would ever think of hit code except Apathy Jesus, I guess? The minus manacle has a specific use. For some reason, you attach it to the mirror and it shrinks the mirror. Then you can carry the mirror around. That's the minus manacle. The abacus, I have no idea. I'm going to save here, actually. With a quick save. Look. Abacus. What's with the... It's a multiply bead abacus. One large bead is loose. Have I looked at this before? It has a fish on one side. What? Get bead. Pull bead. Open abacus. Do I use the fish bones with it? Look at bone. The sharp bones of the Nordia whale. So they're not just general fish bones. These are whale bones. And they're sharp. Have we seen anything that could use a sharp solution? Look bead. Yeah, give me some answers. Nothing special. The bead is loose. There's a fish on the side. I don't know, man. Let's get back to the matter at hand. Move bead. We should probably queue load because we've wasted all those moves. All right, we'll remove bead. Remove bead. The earth. See when it says the earth tremors more violently? There is actually a time limit in this game. And if we take too many moves to apparently get to the end, or maybe defeat whatever the machine is, I guess, you just get a game over. Q load. Now we're back in the math room. That's normal. The math room. Imagine having such a room. Now if we go south, we get to visit the sorceress. You stand in the private chambers of your benefactress, the sorceress. There she is. You notice the sorceress hovering in a beam of light. Talk to sorceress. Yeah, remove bead gave no... Oh! Do we have the bead now separate? Does that mean we took the bead? Welcome, my friend. Skeletor is behind this plot to ruin Eternia. Restore the time links, and I will give you a weapon to defeat Skeletor. Now that sounds interesting to me. The weapon of time will benefit you twice. Your reflection will aid you in your journey to the Shadowlands. The sorceress vanishes. Let's look at my inventory. The earth tremors more violently. Sasuga, whoever that was. Well met, I'm sorry I didn't see you. Abacus, time link, wank, shard of glass, minus man. No, there's no beads. No beads listed there specifically. We've got the abacus, though. Unless it requires some super specific input, which is possible. We can go south. Southeast takes us to the clock. The Greenwich room. The Greenwich room. Oh! What was it? Remove bead. I reloaded. Yeah, look at that. Oh no, it just puts the abacus down. See how the abacus is now on the floor? It says you also see abacus. So bead apparently... Bead and abacus are one. Hang on, I know what you're getting at there. Remove bead. Wait a minute, isn't that what I just did? Remove bead. Isn't that what I just did? Now I'm getting not... Large bead. Oh. So, remove bead through the abacus to the ground. Nothing special, okay. Open clock. We get the turquoise, which is needed to defeat Too Bad, who has the supernatural ability of detaining you. Now, put time link on clock. What if I'm wrong? What if I just saw in passing something that was incorrect, in fact? Attach time link to clock. Remember how you had to, when you put the manacle on the mirror, you have to specifically say fit. So fit time link to clock. Ah! It worked! Fit time link to clock. Well, I don't see the hands appearing in the graphics. Have I lost the time links? Yeah, looks like it. All right. Southwest. No, this is the magical travel chamber. We don't want to be here. What's east of here? A small chamber with shrouded walls. This is it. A thin... So, there's a rostrum in here with clock faces on it, which has something to do with the clock. A thin veil-like white curtain moves slightly. This is the boudoir, by the way. In a breeze on the eastern wall. Open the curtain with care and reveal a small alcove. Look at alcove. In the center of the alcove is a tall rostrum. Now, it keeps telling us that the... Look at rostrum. It keeps telling us that it's got clock faces carved into its surface. It has something on top of it! A what? Hexagon of helitration? Or hexagon of heliatron. Hexagon of heliatron. The hell is that? Get hexagon. Alright, that's new to us. Look at hexagon. It is magical. Is this the weapon to defeat Skeletor? Maximum advancement. Q save. Q save, when you, oddly enough, when you save and load, it takes a move. And you actually lose time. It counts as an action in the game. It's not a meta action. We can go north. Alright, so. We've got the hexagon of heliatron. What do we do with it? It didn't tell us anything. It said it was magical. What on earth could it possibly do? Now, we've done everything we know about in here. Except we've got a bead. That's important. We've got a bead. We've got a hexagon. I think we've done everything we can do in here. Now, to get out of the castle, you don't go west. None of these exits work. None of those. You have to say, go... Drawbridge. Oh, God. Hang on. Go... What was it? Maybe it's Jawbridge? Go Jawbridge. There we go. And now we're outside again. And we can go east. This is some superior advancement. West, back into the castle. That's not a visible exit? Where am I? Oh, north. West. South. Enter mirror. What if the hexagon somehow helps us get past the no friction block? Because I feel like whatever we've got to do here... Yeah, that's the monster in the moat. You have to jump over him. If you take any actions that aren't jumping over the moat, he grabs a hold of you. And you can cut yourself free, but it takes extra things. I don't know if there's anything else you can do with him. And I can't think of anything else. Alright. Let me save now that we're on the other side of the mirror. So we can fit manacle to mirror. Was it fit or fix? And the mirror shrinks. Get mirror. So if I go west and it's south, do you think the fish bones will help us get past the either the crack in the wall? See, we can still hear a distant echoing ticking from here, and I've no idea what that means. But if we go south again, you're in a large square cavern. You notice a large cuboid blocking an exit to the south. You can go north. A cuboid. Look, cuboid. It has a low friction surface. The He-Man can't pick it up because of its low friction. What have I got? Large bead. Small mirror. Shard of glass. Sword of power. Push. Push block. Okay, just block. No, push. Cuboid. No, push doesn't work. I'm pretty sure I've tried push. The only thing that if I push get cuboid, it gives me a specific response. My hands can't get a purchase on the slippery surface. It's low friction. Do you think this doesn't come into play? It's possible. Here's our inventory. I think looking at the inventory also causes time to pass. The moleculator, shard of glass, small mirror, fish bones. Put bones under cuboid so we can lever it out of the way. Push cuboid with bones. Move cube. Okay. So elsewhere here there's a drop that we can go down, but we can't get back up, I don't think. And if we go that way, we can't get back here. Especially if we take the mirror with us. Because you can set up the mirror somewhere else and go back to the castle, but you can't get back here. You'll go back through the mirror to back where you set it down. Bones. Bones. Alright, that's one thing. That's one thing, the cuboid. I have no idea what to do with it. And if we go west, east, that's Q. What? Oh, Q is quit? Damn it. Hang on. Let me get back to where I was. Q is quit, apparently. Q load. Now we're back here. Manacle to mirror. Get mirror. East. Now here boulders block my exit to the south, but if I push boulder... Yeah, BQ is biff. We can go south. And you stand within a deep underground tunnel. You also see a giant stirrup-shaped boulder at the edge of the deep abyss. You can go north and south. This stirrup-shaped boulder is giving me grief, because I'm not even sure what they mean by this. Right? I have no idea. Like, I even Googled stirrup-shaped boulder to see if it was, like, something that people would know. Like, is it a famous landmark in, like, America or something? I have no idea. Stirrup-shaped boulder. Does anyone have any interpretation for this? I'll give you interpretation, because that's what they do. Oh, man. He gives them one of these, and he gives them one of those. And he gives them one of these, and he gives them one of those. And I choke him like that. I choke him like that. I don't know, man. But, like, push boulder. But what about the hexagram? What are we walking around with here? Hexagon. What does heliotron mean? Use hexagon on boulder. Neither do I. This is completely abstract. Break boulder. I don't know. A little iffy. I don't know, man. We made it pretty far. Like, we left this part. There's also, down south from here, there's a small crack to the south. Maybe we put the hexagon in crack. There's a crack in the wall with light coming through it. This actually makes me think maybe there's a way in here from the outside. Yeah, it does feel like that, Mensky. Or potentially we can climb up it from a location below. Like, I'm stumped with both of these. I'm going to Q-load to recuperate those moves. We might come back into these caves from outside. The mirror reduces in size. And if I go south from here... Oh, hang on. Get that mirror. There's bound to be a rope somewhere. It's one of the most common adventure game items. Suddenly the ground opens beneath your feet and you fall. You are crouched on a crumbling ledge which protrudes from the side of a deep chasm. Putting in the wrong move here kills you. Can you guess what the right move is? Those of you who have never played or seen this game before? I'll tell you what the right move is. So we figured it out. Someone guessed it. I didn't figure this out. You wait. No, it's not hit coat. If only it was. Time passes. Then you wait again. Time passes. Then you wait again. It's no longer able to support your weight and the ledge crumbles and you fall. But you don't die if this happens. You're in a vast domed underground vault. The floor of the vault is littered with small rocks which roll around your feet. Yeah, the manual hinted at the weighting. Yeah, you're right. Actually, let's look at the manual and see if it's got anything else for us, like anything that might have come to light regarding like the recent revelations about the time links. Like, I didn't even cotton on that there would only be 2 time links, really. I thought there'd be more time links out there. Is this it? No, this is the premise of the game on the background there. There it is. The Masters of Computer Software present Masters of the Universe, the Super Adventure. Skeletor, never resting in his struggle to overwhelm Eternia and become the kingdom's absolute ruler, has developed an earthquake device which controls, through hypnotic rays, a horde of rock binders, gigantic beasts created from boulders who are capable of gnawing their way through solid rock. Because of their peculiar construction, rock binders are also capable of reforming after injury and battle. This actually comes up. There's clues on the back of this box here. Under his malevolent supervision, the monsters are even now tunneling beneath the foundations of the Shadowlands and approaching the borders of Eternia. You will play the part of Adam, Prince of all Eternia, or He-Man, really. You must take up the Sword of Power, or Prince of all Eternia. You must take up the Sword of Power. You, playing the part of Adam, Prince of all Eternia, must take up the Sword of Power, assume your alter ego He-Man, and challenge Skeletor. I would love to. There's the cover art. Not as good as Alfredo Alcala, although it's got exciting Skeletor axe-swinging action. There it is in right way up them. And Krakow. And Krakow. Oh, that's that again. Sorry, there it is. With Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull in the background. Where's that manual? What's this? No, that's exciting He-Man riding a lion, battling Skeletor business. Where is it? Gold Moon? It's Earl Norham artwork here that I have on the thing still. What do I do with it? I'm going to have to find it in the archives. Oh, Chaos Club. Well met. And well met Underwater Turok from 19 minutes ago. Sorry, I didn't see your name. Let me find the Masters of the Universe guff. I've got the inlay. Here we are. Let's look at it. Oh, God, it's so small. Go place. Examine wax. Enlist Orco. That's how we learned the word enlist, which turns out is a chief word. Drop hex. Drop hex. Oh, hang on. Hold off on the hints. Let's see if I can make some progress. Drop hex. Ask. You definitely do not need to ask Mossman to drink. He does that automatically. Drop hex. Is that the hexagon? The new hex just dropped. Whoa. Get the box and open it. Cut the rope. These are things that are bound to happen. Cut the rope. We haven't seen no rope. Q save, Q load, quit, we've discovered. Save game. Yeah, we can undo a move. BOM. Back one move. You can't type it in after you've gotten bitten by a beast. After you've been defeated. And that's all loading information. I don't think there's anything of note there. A geometrical shape. Drop hex. Let me type drop hex and see if it does anything. Oh God, where have I put the emulator? Here it is. Drop hex. Oh, God. Suddenly the ground bursts open. This is what happens on this screen. This isn't new. We just put the hex on the ground. A rock monster emerges, grinding its large boulder teeth. Alright? Oh, dropping the sword turns you back into Adam? Yeah, that might be useful. Now, the way you deal with the rock monster is with the moleculator, but you don't attack it with the moleculator, you don't hit it with the moleculator, you don't even know what the moleculator is. The correct move is throw moleculator at rockbinder. The monster is smashed to smithereens. Only its head remains intact, and he pleads with you to spare his life. Will you spare him? Yes, obviously. Thank you, He-Man. I can help you. The moon shines. The pyramid preserves. The diamond is pure. Thank you, Rockmaster. Get all. Now, you can't take the Rockbinder's head with you. Unfortunately, he's like regenerating. But we've got our hex. Let me see if I can put like a... What I want to do is... Kapow. It's like make a save... I've just tried to make... I've never done it before on this emulator. Tried to make a save state in lieu of actually doing a physical... like hard way save and having to set up a disk and everything if that's what happens. I guess that's not what happens, but whatever. We'll just put a save there and say that we saved in an orthodox fashion. And from here you can go west. You're in a cave littered with small perfectly round rocks. A sloping path continues down. You can go east. Get rock. Right, we got the rock. Alright. Look at slope. We've never done that before. But if you go down, you die instantly. Alright, if I type down, suddenly molten lava showers down. Press a key to continue. Skeletor, you are dead. It just happens. You just can't go that way. This actually is a good time to test my save state thing. Let's see if it works. Kapow. Yeah, look at that. Hey. Now, I want that rock, though, so I go west. Well met. The Tiralor. Sweden, eh? Fine place. Oh. One of the... Oh, that's a pretty good deal. Very interesting. I'm surprised GameStop would trade in He-Man. Yeah, text adventures are good business. They're good material. Did I get... No, I didn't get rock. Get rock. Now, in my inventory, turquoise, the hexagon of Heliatron, large bead, rock, abacus, wax. So let's look at the abacus. Look at abacus. Nothing special. It doesn't even give us the... What was it about the abacus? There was like a fish on it. I don't know. I'm retreating from this. I need some sort of special protection to go down. And from here we can go east. You stand in a low fissure. You can go east and west. And if we go east, look what happens. Look at this. You are standing inside the narrow fissure cut into the rock by the quake. By the quake. You can see an army of large scorpions rushing toward you. You can go west and east. Guess how you get past the scorpions? You type attack scorpions with sword. The leaders fall beneath your blade, but more soon take their place. Now, I read that as meaning that there would be infinite, like it's useless to attack them. But what you do is you go attack scorpions with sword a second time, just like in Rastan. You fight on until the army lies defeated at your feet. You just defeat them. Great. Good, sensible, straightforward solution. Which is something that I really admire Dreamweb for, actually, with its straightforward solutions to problems. I remember playing it like the door is locked. Oh, I've got to find a key for this door. Just for a joke, I'll use my gun on the door, and your man just shoots the door open, no problem. It just does it. It works, and it is the intended solution. People who approach it like an adventure game get stuck on things that your man just smashes through. Yeah, this is a satisfying puzzle. What you do is you attack twice. You just fight them until they're defeated. We can go east. You stand upon the summit of a mighty crag. You notice a cave entrance below you, which is where we came from. You can go east. We go east again. I should map this properly, actually. The mighty crag. Here we are. The mighty crag. Does this pen have any ink? Oh, no. Alright, I'll just have to have a mental map. A mental map. Never mind. My pen doesn't have any ink in it. So here we are. There's a circle of ancient stone heads. Look at head. They're covered in moss. I meant to say heads. Heads. Oh, damn it. I can show you my hand-drawn map, alright? Like, I took a photo of it. It looks oaf. It's not really a hand-drawn map. It's just a sketch of the locations I found so far, and it's also got some inaccuracies. The He-Man map so far. Here it is. There's Hit Coat, by the way. There's Grayskull, the moat you jump over. There's Hit Coat. There's a clock in there. Evil Lynn's there. That's the Orchard of the Garden. And there's the mirror, and you fall down there in the abyss and the light and the cuboid. That's the whole thing. There's not much more to it. I've written Rockman onto it since then. And Scorpions is also listed on there. But that's as far as I've gotten. I've scrawled it on there, illegibly. My handwriting hasn't developed since I was watching He-Man as a lad, actually. Well met, Mahelmuit. How do I say your name properly? Malamute. Malamute, maybe. I don't know. Malamute. Is that the correct way of saying it? In reference to the giant breed of dog that one of my friends had, and it was so huge. You wouldn't believe it. You could ride the bloody thing. So here we are. You can get this moss. Now this makes me think that the slime that, drips on your hands here is going to help with the moving the block. But we can't get back to the block. So I think there might be a way to do it like around here. Now what I might do is I'll save. I'll use one of my secret snapshot saves. No, actually I'll use just a quick save. They're good enough. There we are. Now we can go north, east, and west. Now from memory, I think the Shadow Binder shows up in the north. All right, instant Shadow Binder problem. Well, let's have a look. North. The Shadow Weavers is ensnaring you. Has anyone got a solution for the Shadow Weavers? If you attack them, your sword goes through them. Is dropping the drop heck? Surely you don't use it by dropping it. Time does not exist for the Weaver. It still moves forward. Time does not exist for the Weaver. It does. It's not clear what there is a character called Shadow Weaver, but I don't know. That's like a She-Ra thing. So was Mantenna, was a member of like Hordak's gang. Get Hex. The Shadow Weaver is ensnaring you. What do? You get dragged away if you don't figure it out. Oh, do you think? Drop sword. You are immediately transformed back into Adam, Prince of Eternia. Oh! Oh! The Shadow Weaver cannot home in on a mortal form. It wavers for a moment, then disappears to return to its haunted home. Oh my god! It doesn't make you smaller, it makes you mortal. Mensky figured this out. Bloomin' get sword, you madman. That's right, because He-Man is a magical being. The Shadow Weaver can get him. What if it comes back? So we went north. We can go southeast and southeast. Let's continue north and see what we find. Wow, we're just on the edge of the swamp. We can get here normally. You drown in the swamp. You have to drain the swamp, which is something we've done. Mensky figured it out. Drop sword. What kind of warrior move is this? So we can go east from here. The Shadow Weaver place. You're on a lowland pathway which runs through the devastated Shadowlands. North should lead to the swamp again. Let's go east from here. You're on the barren plains of the Shadowlands. You notice piles of flint stacked neatly on the ground. Get flint. Alright, we got the flint. You can go west, southwest, and southeast. What do you think? Southwest, southeast, southeast. You're on a pathway near a torn valley. Oh, Beast Man! There is a river to the east. You also notice Beast Man ready to attack. He is leering at you, ready to do battle. Now, Beast Man can't attack because he dodges you. Right? Do we drop the hex on here? Do we drop hex? Beastman is suspended in time. Look at that. The Beastman is suspended in time. I hope this is one of the official 2 times the weapon of time will help me, actually. The Beastman is suspended in time. Now what? Do we attack? Beastman with sword. Oh, you see Beastman's body. Look at this. He's just dead. We just killed him, apparently. Well, get the hex back. That's too good. Oh, his moment... I've used it twice? Oh, I guess I have. Beastman is momentarily dazed. I go west. Just batter him. Is he dead? Beastman's body. I can't make a thing. Nothing special. Oh, he is... What? There is a river to the east. He is dazed. You also see Beastman's body. What? East. You're standing on a bank where the Blood River disappears underground. You notice mud. Look at mud. Found something of worth. Silver claw. Look at claw. With a ruby embedded in the top. Remove ruby. Where's the magic ruby? Get ruby. Look at ruby. Also, the quakes seem to have stopped. I can go west. The blood river disappears underground. He is dazed. The beastman is dazed from our battering we gave him, apparently. So dropping the hex is using it. That's bad. We have to go back to before we drop the hex on the... What if it's not the way you get past Beastman, actually? Although I feel like it might be. Get body. Alright. Let me go back. Get moss. Then I go north. I guess I don't have to go north and drop the sword. I can go north, east, and west. I go east. I can go north, east, and west. East again. Oh, it's a gully leading from the Shadowlands. I can go east and west. What's east from here? You're on a pathway near a torn valley. Oh, there's Beastman. Okay. He is leering at you. Drop hex. Beastman is suspended in time. So if he's suspended in time, I can just go east, right? You notice mud on the edge of the bank. You can go west. Get claw. Oh, I don't see it here. Look at mud. Get claw. Now we go back west. Now if I get the hex, it's momentarily... I've used it twice? When was the first time? He's dazed, though. That's good. Oh, does that count as a use? That might count as a use. Let's experiment and see if that's true. But I used it once more since then and it didn't work on the... Yeah, I think you're right. Let me load that snapshot. When was that? Oh, before the rock, man. Damn it all. That's before the rock, man. That's bad. What do we do? Do we just start again? Large scorpions. Can I just type attack scorpions? Yeah, I can. Why is it with Montana I have to specify the... I have to specify the weapon. So just dropping the hex, he's using it. But it didn't count when I used it on the... Northwest, northeast, and west. Yeah, maybe. Beastman is suspended in time. Found something of worth. Wonder what the claw's used for. We can still research stuff because we can try things against Merman. Like maybe you don't defeat Merman with the whoops, that's Q. From here we can go north. What if I go northwest from here? Get Flint. Southwest. You go north, east, northwest, northeast. I can go straight north. And then what if I go north from here? Alright, here's the poisonous fumes. South. We've got to find Mossman. And I think he was east from here, wasn't he? The Flints. I can go west, southwest, and maybe not. This leads back to Beastman. And he's still suspended in time. I'll get the hex. I've used the hex twice according to this. I can go north, west, and northwest. I go north. North, south, and east. What's east from here? There's Blood River. Nothing special. I don't know why the tremors have stopped. I think it might be a bug. I think Q saving and Q loading as advised by the game itself. Or maybe the quick save, I mean the save state move I made, has caused some kind of shenanigan. Blood River's flowing to the south. You can go west. I can't follow the river south. No. Can I? No, see, we've defeated the Rockbinder in the past and the tremors didn't stop. Do you think they're meant to stop when you defeat the Rockbinder, maybe? I don't know. It's possible. I can go north, south, and east from here. I go north. The midst of the Shadowlands. I can go northeast from here. The central plains of the Shadowlands. Here we are. You notice long burial mounds running parallel with your path. Something of worth. This we found in the past. Get cog. This golden clock cog hasn't got anything to do with the clock either, apparently. Yeah. Well, we've left the cave before. We've been out here and we've died of earthquakes. Unfortunately, my stream can't go on for much longer. Now, recall, I have to go on a trip and I'll be away for about a week, I think. Maybe even a little more, but I'll be around a week. I'll be away. So we've got to get this gaming in while we can. That's why I got extra rounds of Rastan Saga 2. It's going to be rough. A week without streaming. A week or more. Now I can go north from here. Oh, here he is. Look out. Too bad detains you. Too bad this is all it gives you for what's going on is too bad detains you. There is no more to be said. Talk to Too Bad. That won't help you. There's nothing that you can say or do to Too Bad. And he won't finish you off either. He just detains you. But we figured this out. I figured this out, actually. You give turquoise to Too Bad. The two heads of Too Bad argue about the gem, allowing you to pass. Except this is the way to Snake Mountain. I don't think that's where I want to go. There's a path to the north. I think I want to go south. Southwest. East. Ruby red reeds. That's white. White. Get reed. Q save. We got one of the reeds. I will. Thank you. Good night, Rocky Raccoon. I can go west from here. South. South again. There's the dazed beast man, who has no bearing. Wait a minute. North. East. Oh, it's Blood River again. I can't find Moss Man. This is the Flint place. Northwest or northeast? Oh, the Shadow Weaver again? Drop sword. The Shadow Weaver cannot home in on a mortal form. The Shadow Weaver is gone. Get sword. Northeast, southeast. And that's the Putrid Swamp. If I go east from here, there's the Putrid Swamp still. South, this is the original Shadow Weaver home. East. Piles of flints. Ugh. North, south. Alright, what's north here? Oh, here's the swamp. No. West again. Yeah, Lady Hawk, a great movie destroyed by its music. That may be true. Northwest, northeast. I'm lost. I can't find Moss Man. If only I'd made a map. I just went southeast. If I go east from here... This is the gully that leads to... Leads to Beast Man. And then we're back to the Flints. Going around in circles. Oh, man. Northeast, west, northwest, northeast. Maybe it's beyond too bad, actually, where I am going. Or maybe I'm just wrong about that. Find my way back to too bad. Oh, this is the swamp. I should be able to go... Oh. No, I can't. Too bad's in the west, isn't he? Oh, here we are. Look at heads. They're covered in moss. Get moss. No, is this the original heads? Or is this the Moss Man heads? Touch moss? No. The summit of a mighty crag. We're back at the start. Hang on, I've got to get a pen. I've got to make a map. I'll be right back. Excuse me. Krakow. All right. I'm going to map this land. Let's see. From the crag. Crag. All right. I can go east. That's the heads. And from the heads, I can go north. Which is a path. I can go north again from the path. Swamp. Right, that makes sense so far. I can go east from the swamp. To more swamp. And I can go south from the swamp. From swamp 2 to a path. And I can go north, south, east, and west. So if I go west, we're back on the pathway. Alright, good. Those link up. And if I go south from here, skirts along the edge of the plains. If I go west, I should be back at the heads. Let me just check. Yep, good. Back at the heads, you go east from here. Now from here we can go northwest, which should lead there. You go north, northeast, east, west, northwest, northeast. Okay, good. I go east.
I choose the axe.
Gully from the Shadowlands. Well met, General Torak. Gully. Brother General Torak, for 32 months of power. Yeah, thank you. I go east again. Beastman is here. And east is the Claw. From here we can go north. Oh, wait a minute. South. What does it say? Northwest and northwest. Northwest and northwest. So if I go north. Trail. North, south, and east. If I go east. River. And I can only go west from there. North. Narrow trail in the midst of the shattered Shadowlands. Trail, I can go south, east, west, and northeast. What if I go west? Ah, here we are. This is Mossman's Heads. Look at heads. With a speculum engraved. Now the speculum means that we can use the mirror here as well. You rouse the sleeping Mossman. Look at Mossman. There he is. Talk to Mossman. He-Man, now I know the land can be saved from Skeletor's evil hand. He-Man, now I know the land can be saved from Skeletor's evil hand. Guess what you do with Mossman? You type, enlist Mossman. I will do all that is in my power to help you. Mossman is with you. This is interesting business. The map is more keen, though. I can go east and south from here. I go south. Mossman is with you. The barren plains. Plains. And it should be going southwest, southeast. What's southwest from here? This is the Flint land. Mossman is with you. No, we can't become Mossman, unfortunately. Now, can we get to the bog from... Yeah, I think we can. Here. Mossman stoops to the edge of the swamp and begins to drink. Mossman remains to digest this foul brew. He drains the swamp. Q save. Now we can go into the swamp. We type enter swamp. You are standing on the edge of a large lake. You also notice merman crawling from the water and about to attack. You can go south and southeast. Merman. Now what do we do with merman? Attack merman. Oh, that won't help you? The abacus. Or the bead. Give bead to merman. Oh, he slips an electro bond onto your wrist. The abacus had a fish on it, you're right. An electro bond. The abacus had a fish on it. Or the fish bones were my other idea. Oh. Accidentally pushed N like an oaf. Come on. Oh, we're all the way back here. Kyarg. I don't suppose it's remained in memory, has it? No. This is further back. Bloody merman. Hang on, we've got to redo some stuff. Now we get all. We've done that. Do we have a rock? I don't think we have a rock. Get rock. East. East. But now I've mapped it out, so we're in... Well, I've mostly mapped it out. East. Here's the army of scorpions. Attack scorpions with sword. East. Right, good. The crag. Here we are. Now we just get some moss. And we keep going east until we fight Beast Man. There he is. Drop X. And he's suspended in time. Then we go east. Look at mud. Get Claw. West. Get X. Oh, the sorceress's words. Yeah, yeah. North. North again. East. Get Reed. Put that on the map, actually. Reed. We go west. West again. Touch moss. You rouse the sleeping moss man. Look at Moss Man so that we can see his face. He looks good. Enlist Moss Man. Moss Man is with you. South. Get Flint. Now we'll go west and north to the bog. So you think abacus. I hope we don't have to do any calculating with the abacus. Enter swamp. Merman crawls out of the water. Well, what an oath. Give abacus to Merman. That won't help. What if I just show ab? Oh, you slipped an electro bond. Okay, so he doesn't want the abacus. Q load. Well, for a start, what have I got? Silver claw, moss, flint, reeds, turquoise, large bead, rock, abacus, wax. Maybe we throw the abacus. Sword of power, shard of glass, small mirror with the manacle fitted, and fish bones. No, it's right. The abacus had a fish pictured on it. Throw rock at Merman. I don't have it? Oh, right, I just dropped it. Throw rock means I dropped it. Oh, the clock part. Yeah, I don't even know where the graves are. But there's a couple of directions that didn't go in, that haven't been filled in. Well, that's Merman crawling from the water. Throw abacus at Merman. does have a fish on it. Oh. It didn't work when I was here last. I guess I'll try to attack. Yeah, the bead. Surely the bead. You get to a certain point and the enemies start evading your attacks. Into swamp. What if I just give the... Attack merman with sword. No, that won't help you. What are you talking about? Ah. Attack merman with sword. Throw bead, maybe? This is getting laborious. I'm going to put a snapshot here. Beat game, if only. Drop bead. Ah! The large bead multiplies! Merman runs to attack, treads on the beads, and falls backwards into the lake. Good. What on earth? I thought he wanted it because it had a fish on it, like we could... He'd let us pass this once. He-Man, I let you pass in return for the fish abacus. What on earth is happening? It did say it was a large multiplication abacus, I suppose. Oh, come on. There are a lot of beads on the green. You're telling me. He fell for the oldest trick in the book, the merman. I wonder if that would have happened at any other point where if I dropped the bead, it would have caused this. Well, what did that accomplish? We can go south and southeast. Isn't that where we came from? South, isn't south where we came from? Maybe I can get beads. Oh, they keep rolling around just out of my reach. Oy. There's a valley to the north. Oh, you didn't even read that part. Now we're in the valley. Kaloo and Kalali. Hey, in the valley. Ho, ho. There's a part... You can see something shimmering. I've ran out of room on my thing. The path... There is a path to the east and to the south. You can see something shimmering. South is where I came from. Or is it meant to be two separate sentences? Well, there's definitely a path to the east. You can see something shimmering. I'll go east, but I'm worried about that shimmering. You're moving along a narrow track cut to the side of the Mystic Mountains. To the east you can see a high ledge. A high ledge, eh? From the north the sound of blood-chilling screeches reaches your ears. You can go south, east, and west. We better go north. What? I can't go north. I'll continue going east. You're on a pathway. Evil shapes cast shadows against the twin moons. Look at shapes. You see nothing special. You can go south, or I go south from here. You are on the high guano-covered summit of Wyvern Mountain. You can go north, down, west, and up. Up. Oh, here we are. You're on the trail near the twin pinnacles of Wyvern Mountain. In the fierce sunlight, you see a large wyvern sitting on a nest protecting its evil brood. You can go down. Nay! Attack wyvern with sword. Ah, double T? Attack wyvern. Attack. Ha! Your sword kills the creature. It falls from the pinnacle. The young follow their parent over the edge. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. Why did that happen? Like, what? Back one move. I don't want to do that. That seems evil. It's an evil brood, but He-Man once said in an episode, any life is worth saving, even an evil one. I go down. My guy from the 80s, well met. Down. You can go north, down, west, and up. I'll go down again. Maybe there's some mega threat down here that wants a wyvern dropped on it. A large likeness of a resting lizard has been hewn from a large fallen boulder. You can go up. Q save. Up. Up. Attack wyvern. It falls from the pinnacle. Down. So if I go all the way down, maybe the wyvern has landed on... No! What is that on the picture? Look at lizard. A power force field bars your way. Hang on. I don't like the killing of that wyvern. It doesn't seem good. A power force field. Alright. You can go north from here. You're on a pathway. West. Is this... Am I heading back? Yeah, I am heading back. Hang on. East. South from here. And west. What do I get west from here? You're on the side of Wyvern Mountains. You can go north and up. What's north? Alright, we're going round and round the mountain here. Oh, I'm not up yet. Hang on. Whoa. I went all the way back, actually. I'm back at the Shimmering. The Shimmering? Yeah, maybe examine lizard or examine likeness. Look at thing. The all-purpose adventure game walkthrough that I developed has 3 steps. Go to place, talk to man, and use thing on thing. Those 3 things will get you through all adventuring situations. Go to place, talk to man, use thing on thing. Oh, man. East. The blood-chilling screeches must be the wyverns. I can't actually go north from here, though, where they're coming from. Evil shapes. South. Up. Give claw to wiv. Ooh. Down. Down. Nothing special? I'm typing in. We can't examine it. The force field bars my way. The force field bars my way. Have I got anything that can beat a force field? Fire field? Is it force field one word? Filed. Excuse me a moment, I'll be right back. I've just got to duck away for a second. Hey, hop. I'm back. Excuse me. Excuse me. Chat to man also listed. Never mind that. Force field. Large fallen boulder. Look at boulder. I've got very limited time. I guess we didn't look in the nest. I wonder if I can do it from here. Like, look at nest. The branches which form the nest smell overpowering. Search, as someone suggested. Search nest. They smell overpowering. Okay, get branch. What? Get nest. Yeah, this is our first force field. Get branches. Rent branch. Oh, forget it. No, this doesn't feel good. We can't be slaying the wyvern. There's still some unexplored realm here, by the way, which I'm going to explore. Oh, could we go up again? Did it say up again? Near the Twin Pinnacles. No. Look in nest. That's not right, is it? We can't be attacking the wyverns. Those poor little wyvernlings. Throw He-Man at force field. The lizard. A resting lizard. Wyvern Mountain. West. North. East. South. There's Wolfert and his brigands. Well met. Now from here... How do I get out of here? On the side of Wyvern Mountain. What? North. Evil shapes against the moon. West. South, east, and west. What if I go west again? They're shimmering. This. What is this all about? Look path. What if I go south? The edge of a large lake. Was I here before? Oh no, this is where we defeated Merman. Oh, there's Moss Man. Oh, we're back here. If I go east from here... Shimmering. Yeah, I have to finish very soon. I might even leave it there, actually. There is a valley to the north. You see something shimmering. Yeah, there was a secret restart. Look at shimmering. Bloody He-Man. Enough of this. Mate, I've got to finish my stream. It's been going too long. Bing. That's an elegant quit. Ah, the shimmering. At least the wyverns are still alive. That's the important part. That's what matters. Is the shimmering just the lake? It could well be. The shimmering water, but I don't know. I might have to type something super specific in there. I don't know. I got to cool down. I got to cool down first with a swift round. Since we've defeated Rastan Saga 2, I can concentrate fully on DD Crew. I'll have my revenge and DD Crew. I'm cooling down now, Lion. You relax. Not that you're not relaxed, but... I've got to go on a journey. I'll be gone for about a week, maybe. A week or thereabouts. Lion will keep you posted, no doubt. And I shall return probably next Sunday, if not a moment or two later. Let's play it. Who should be our man? Buster. Buster, the true character. Let's play it. DD Crew. Damn. Pause. Pause secretly. Fix volume. Oh, I suppose you won't keep anyone posted. Ugh. Yep. Look at that big result. Well, it won't be a week without adventure for me. I'll be on big adventure. Whoa, Buster. Nice. Oh, Buster. Giant swing. Big result. When's that He-Man game coming out? When's Age of Barbarian Chronicles coming out? These are important factors. Oh, spicy tenders. All right. I'll keep it in mind. There's no guarantee I'm visiting Wendy's, though. Yeah, whatever they are. The nuggets, whatever. I might even dip my chips in frosting. Look at that. 2 men blown back. Oh, you can't pick them up after they've been damaged by throw-related incidents. But other incidents, it's all go. March! Right, I'm on. Age of Barbarians Chronicles. That's going to be excellent stuff. That and He-Man. When He-Man comes out, I hope to have the Commodore 64 version fully solved. It's starting to look a little bit on the ridiculous side, this game. Like, what was that stuff with the beads? It did have a fish on it. Like, okay, the clue about the abacus was that it had a fish on it. Okay, and one of the beads is loose. And was it Mensky came up with the idea that if we give it to that Merman might want it because it's got a fish on it and he'd probably like it and he might let us pass, is the logic. But what you do is you take one of the beads off and you drop it in front of Merman. Then the bead multiplies and he slips on it, unrelated to anything fish related, and then he falls back into the river and is not seen again. What on earth is happening in that game? This is some notorious puzzle design. He just falls on the beads. It's not, oh, fish-related beads. I will trade you, He-Man. Your freedom for the beads. Nothing like that. He just falls on them. Who are these people? Like, maybe it's a reference to something that was known at the time. Maybe it happened in the show. I don't remember it happening on He-Man. I guess that's not outside the realm of possibility, but come on. I'd be surprised if, like, the developers of the game watched episodes of the show in order to get big inspiration. Oh, I was trying to do a running attack and he picks up the thing. Oh, damn it. That's good enough. I nearly ran into the knife master there. He's not a gold knife master though. Oh! I forgot my own tutorial. You evade the elbow drop and you counter-attack like that. Yep. Dealt with. That's the one time they don't die saying go. Look out, Rufus got auto-modded for some reason. Hang on. I'm allowed to mention the Fenian cycle. Irish mythology is a taboo subject, according to Twitch. Hang on, I better allow that. I don't want Twitch to think they're getting away with any of this. What on earth? That is beyond the scope of my understanding. Don't mention the cattle raids of Ulster or anything like that. Or the cattle raid of Cooley, excuse me.
Going to a go-go.
Or the Ulster cycle.
Going to a go-go.
You get busy. The Fomorians very offended by this. For that big action. The big punch is the most satisfying move. You can't do it close, otherwise you take damage. It has to be done from far away like that. That's too close. He-Man is still a fiasco. Well, we got past Merman. Did you see what happened with Merman, Zenith Dante? I don't remember if you were there or not. Absolutely ridiculous solution.
Get busy.
Yeah, we'll get there. Get busy. The martial arts defeated. The only true martial art is 90s b-boy dancing or whatever style Buster has. Oh! Ah. There's some way you can giant swing the bosses. At least this second boss is giant swingable. I've done it. You have to sort of catch him when he's trying to kick you. The red martial arts masters treat with big caution.
Get busy.
Oh. The Green Master, he'll drop life. We have the wisdom to defeat him. Oh, it's a little up in the air at the moment though because of the Kung Masters. Oh, damn it. Ah, see, he dropped life and I died in horror. Oh, like that. The satisfying giant swing.
Get busy. Shut up, you already.
You die.
Shut up already.
This is the method. What if the He-Man beat 'em up takes after DD Crew mechanically? Then we'll have a true game on our hands. Get the life, Buster. That's it. Oh, he's not standing for any life getting. You're defeated. Yeah, Buster. Now we wait. Enjoy the music. Stage cleared. Bonus stage. Potential one-up here on offer. The Bust and Collect, which Buster should be Grand Master of, all things considered. There's some life, that's good. But a one-up is better. One-up. There's one more bite, but I don't know if you can defeat all three as one man. The notorious Stage 3. The Guardian of Witch is the game's only female enemy. Only female character, full stop. You're not even rescuing a girl in this game. How dare it deny the most classic premise of all. It's the Commandos. Dealt with. Give me that grenade, old man. Huh. There's another grenade. Oh, the fashion kick. Get out of there. Oh, Buster. Oh, damn it. The martial arts. No, Buster. What? Just throw the man. Yes. Ideal, actually. Oh, they landed in front of me. My power punch caused me to bounce off, taking damage. The two Kung Masters are joined together. Ah, well. Good attempt. Alright. That's it. Good attempt. Good attempt. The Kung Masters. I gotta get better at this. We'll get there. This takes a lot longer to play through than Rastan 2. Look at this. See you in a week or so. That's it. That's the mantra of our time. I shall see you all then. I've got to go on my journey. I'm going to go have dinner immediately. Then tomorrow my journey begins. And when I return, all will be well. So I might even be back in time for Sunday stream. I don't think I'll be back in time for for Thursday stream. But maybe Sunday, maybe even Tuesday Power. If I don't make next Sunday, I have to see what happens. It might be Tuesday Power Hour. We shall see. I'll put news posts up or something on Twitch here. You can see them. Right after this, I'll have to put one up saying that I'm going for people to know. But that's all right. I shall be back once more. You all keep well while I'm gone. And big things are ahead, no doubt. And so, my friends, until we meet again, as is often said in these reconfigure, next thing, good. Okay, good. Now I'm off for big dinner, for big powerful dinner, and a big journey thereafter. And I shall return in a week or so. Maybe a little more than a week. It's a mystery. Nonetheless, I shall see you all again before long. And so, my friends, until we meet again, as is often said in these lands, take well, do good, and axe bomber.
Few men have ever done what he has done, or even dreamed what he has dreamed. His time has passed, there are no more. He is the last dinosaur. You men have even tried what he has tried. Most men have failed where he's prevailed. His time has passed, there are no more. He is the last dinosaur. The world holds nothing new in store for him, and things that startle you and me are just a bore for him. The spark of life has gone, his light grows dim. Can there be something left in the world to cherish?